society is not very culturally educated.
Mm.
So it takes a lot for a child
Mm.
to commit to a choice
Mm.
to follow the dream for the arts.
We are, by the way, we are talking about the day that you got shot.
Yeah.
How many times?
We don't know. I thought I had felt it all
Until
because I knew physical pain. And universe comes and says, "Oh, you want to learn about pain again? Let me teach you about pain." Look at the work that Mama Miritwala was able to do for many years. Look at Nandi Nyembe.
It's not the lines.
Look at what Cicely Tyson was able to give for so many years.
That requires a level.
Commit to those three: breath, voice, movement.
Okay.
For an actor, even not moving is still moving.
Okay. It's fascinating.
The other thing that we mustn't be fooled by is the actor's tears. Being able to cry doesn't necessarily make one a brilliant actor.
Hi. Our guest today is actor, author, presenter, MC, public servant. We're keeping that. Mom, sister, and an overall legend. Why legend? You're about to find out. She has been on Generations, Electric Workshop. In fact, I think Electric Workshop first. Generations, Soul City, Ring of Lies, Igani, Mubango, Scandal, Elelwani, Sokulu and Partners, Inkaba, The Republic, and even with Frick Robinson on Focus. Is there anything, any show that you've not? Because I'm like, okay, Soul City as well, actually.
Yeah, I did Soul City.
You did Soul City?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the house we have Florence Masebe. Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
We're finally doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy we're doing it. We finally found the time.
We finally found the time because you're busy shooting.
We found the time.
We found the time. Yeah. How are you keeping busy these days? I understand the kids have started leaving the nest.
Yes. Oof. The kids. So I'm living weird timelines because we the oldest packed her things and went to live in North Carolina.
Okay. Okay.
So, but we still have to be mom when it rained while riding to campus and something happened and it's like, so we must have a little bit of time. And the time zones are not right. So sometimes those calls happen at ungodly hours and we're learning. So Montati moves to the US and we're all adapting to Montati's move to the US.
Because I suppose they need us more once they leave the home.
I'm always reminding them, hey, Wena, how old are you? I'm still your child.
She is.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with the work you've done. Raising an artistic child, an artist, can't be very easy. She's a pianist as well. So what is she doing in North Carolina?
So she's doing a PhD in composition.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds very difficult. That's a
classical musician.
I think we say a PhD in classical composition. The literature review on that thesis.
It's huge work.
It is huge work.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work.
Well done. I've always believed that raising artists must be very demanding because a lot of us were not really raised to be artists.
Especially because society is not very culturally educated. So it takes a lot for a child to commit to a choice to follow the dream for the arts. The art chooses you, but you then choose to stick with your art. And in a society where people say, what you going to do with that? But musician, the guitar. They don't get it. They don't even get the many choices that young people have within their arts. So fortunately, I had adults who allowed me to to follow what I wanted, I would have been really, really mad to not let this young person who's been playing the piano ever since they were so little, who's been holding serious concerts in their bedroom at the age of 8,
to not
follow their dream.
Now, speaking of, I mean, for you to come from home and go all the way to Cape Town to study at UCT, you studied drama?
Drama, yeah.
How was that conversation with your parents? Oh, yeah, all the way to UCT to study drama. How did they receive that?
Honestly, I had 2 big supporters. So everybody else didn't count.
Okay.
I have had, I believe I still have them. They're not here, but I have them. My grandmothers are artists.
Okay. So they got it.
So if they supported me with whatever, I remember my paternal grandmother saying, if she says she wants to go there, do the work that puts her in the bottle for us to watch, put her in the bottle. The bottle. The
yes,
TV.
the TV. Put her in the bottle.
She wants to go and be in the bottle. Let her be in the bottle.
And the reason why I asked that is because back then, what year was it? 1993, 94?
My goodness, no. 1990, as Madiba was coming out of Victor Verster, I was on my way. You were
on your way. So there weren't much of us to actually say, that's the path I'm going to follow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, okay, stage, yes. But they weren't really, we went where we are now.
So maybe 3 things. I watched my children, my Africa, fell in love. I watched, my brother used to give me all those band things.
Yeah. Like musical instruments?
No, like VHS things.
Oh, yeah.
Videos. I watched Was Albert.
Oh, yeah.
I fell in love with what actors can do with their voices. So it was all the theatrical works. And then I think I saw Isikalo or something. I had never been to a theater. I was watching theatrical things on video.
Yes.
And falling in love with the concept of where do they train people so that they can do that? And that's all I wanted to do at the time.
What does it take to study for drama? Like, you guys mentioned voice work a lot and your self-projection and everything else, which is something that we take for granted, obviously, because we're on TikTok now and everybody imagines themselves, and we'll get to that. But I'm fascinated by the idea of using your voice as an actor to really carry a scene. How much time do you guys dedicate into that? Because it is voice work. I'm like, okay, what does that mean?
Before it's voice work, it's breath work.
Okay.
And once you master your own breath, there's nothing really you can't do as a performer.
So like how you breathe.
Yeah.
And then you say your words.
In fact, for a very long time, when you're being cooked at a drama school, you're not acting, you're just breathing.
Is that why maybe lots of people can like say, okay, I just want to... Yeah, because there's a lot of...
They arrive going, oh, when am I going to act? No. Breathe. It's the first thing. The breath of an actor is a very important part of the performance.
How you deliver that line.
We master the breathing without lines. Master the breathing. Master the breathing. Where you're breathing from.
Okay.
And once the tool that must help you breathe is in sync with you, we then start adding the emotion into the breath. Because what is it that makes us happy? Is it not a breath thing?
I've never,
What is it that sends us to anger? When you're angry, don't we say, breathe, please. Take a deep breath.
They spend time.
What takes us to crying? It's breath. before we even speak.
Okay.
And then we introduce the voice. And then we must move. So it's breath, voice, movement, the three fundamentals for an actor to be able to carry this thing at whatever age. I mean, look at the work that Lillian Dube still does. Look at the work that Mama Miritwala was able to do for many years. Look at Nandi Nyembe.
It's not the lines.
Look at what Cicely Tyson was able to give for so many years.
That requires a level.
Commit to those three: breath, voice, movement.
Okay.
For an actor, even not moving is still moving.
Okay. It's fascinating. I obviously, when you see the finished product, you look at it from this person can really deliver their lines.
Yeah.
But as one gets to talk to you guys more and more, there's words like voice work, your posture, delivering crying scenes apparently is not as easy as one would think.
And it isn't as easy, but the other thing that we mustn't be fooled by is the actor's tears. Being able to cry doesn't necessarily make one a brilliant actor. It just means that my glands respond to my breathing quicker.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I know there was a point where we were like, oh man, did you see that crying scene?
Yeah.
Yes, she nailed it. Or there was actually another actor who couldn't cry.
Yeah.
And they were like, man, but I am one of the people who said that crying scene was not delivered properly.
It's the breath that didn't join the scene.
Oh my gosh, I'd hate to deliver lines opposite you.
No.
I'd be like, oh no.
You know the biggest thing with acting is listening and feeding each other.
Okay.
So before an actor speaks, an actor must listen.
Okay.
And an actor who listens will take what they're being fed by the other person. Have you found yourself crying because you're watching sad news and it has nothing to do with you personally? But suddenly you are.
It's that.
So if I'm in a scene with somebody and I'm feeding them that and helping, chances are if you were with me and you were the actor that can't cry, you would cry.
Because
I'm going to feed for you to end up crying.
Oh, that's what you guys mean. So you feed into
We
each
must
other.
feed each other. Acting is energy work.
Is that why I've heard stories of people kind of like saying, I can't do this scene with this person because they're not there or they're not giving me the work. And I'm like, but you just deliver your lines.
No,
I couldn't.
No, we've got to work together. We've got to feed each other. We've got to, so it becomes harder. You would still deliver. But now you've got to walk in there knowing I'm a mechanical being. I've got lines to deliver and I've got emotions to bring in that today will be cosmetic, but the audience won't know because I'm doing the work of two actors instead of one.
I see now. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where the friction can
because come. Respect, we honor each other with our work. So when I walk in onto a scene, I honor the actor. I honor even the actor without a line in that scene. I must honor you as an actor even when the camera has turned around and is no longer on me. Because it's not about me. It's about the story. And the story gets magical when both you and I dance in a scene. If I want to dance alone, actually I won't look good. The scene will collapse. And nobody will say, Florence was better in the scene anyway. No. What's the point?
I see what you mean. All of these roles, I'm going to start with the ones that I still remember. The most recent being The Republic. Yes. You got an award for that, hey?
Yes, I did.
That was something else. It's very recent as well. So I suppose, and I suppose the producer's ability to really contextualize it or frame it within a dystopian South Africa.
The craziest thing I've ever done.
Right?
Yeah.
There's that where you are the president.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember you in Soul City. Generations, I remember your character.
I'm glad somebody does. I struggle to remember my character at Generations. I mean, I remember some things, But yeah,
it was a very young character.
I look at some flashback things every now and again when the channel goes through retrospective stuff. And it takes a lot for me to know who's that. Oh, I missed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one has been your favorite? And then there was Elelwani.
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
Erewani.
Elelwani.
Ra.
Elelwani.
Ere.
Lwani. Re.
We're not gonna get that.
Akimuzulu.
I know.
Erelwani. Yes. Okay. And then there was that. Which one has been your favorite one? Or the one that really, man, this character kind of like stays with you, and
you know, characters arrive for different reasons in people's lives, and they do things, and off you go. Everyone will always be important, always be very, very special, because there are things you do and a shift happens.
Okay.
You know, and yeah, it gave me the AMA, the Africa Movie Award.
Yes.
So that's a big one for me, and it was my love letter to my culture as well. So Erewani will always be very good. But I really think that when I did Rufuno Mraudzi as well, a shift pretty much the same as what I felt when I was about to do Erewani. Because there's work that speaks to you. As you're reading, you go, whew, we're going to do things here that are going to change.
This was the Republic.
Yeah. So Erewani did that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republic did that. Now compare, because so as characters, my love for them sits on different places.
Yeah.
But both of them being very important. I loved Soul City because it was, I felt like I was the closest with Soul City at the time that I did it to part of the core reasons I became an actor. I'm not here to just entertain. I want my art to touch lives, to teach, to do something. And Soul City gives you an opportunity to do that. It's a very important program that teaches society lessons that stay. I mean, can you imagine what life would have been if we had Soul City during the pandemic?
We don't have Soul City now. And I was looking at I was listening to the news or maybe reading something, and we're talking about the
STIs.
I was trying to find a word. I was thinking, we never had these problems because we're watching Soul City. So nobody's actually talking about this. People have
the children are not watching Soul Buddies. You don't have intersections. You don't have. So we are forgetting, because you know, people underestimate the dysfunction at the public broadcaster.
Is it grossly underreported?
No. We forget that as things were sort of falling apart, it meant that there was less and less attention given to that mandate to softly teach the nation.
The public broadcaster mandate.
That mandate, because you can't expect the private guys to do this work for you.
Multi-choice is not going to do it.
It's not their mandate.
It's not their mandate.
And they don't have enough numbers.
Yeah, that's the
They don't have enough numbers. You want public broadcasting to include teaching the public from that age going up. But we learned things from so many things that we watched on TV. I mean, did you not grow up afraid of Womachonisa because of Lakash?
Of course.
You know?
We grew up being afraid of I don't.
That's Mama Louise and him China. It kind of got you thinking, she's a gambler, I don't want to gamble. It's the soft lessons that we were pushing through different types of programs that got ignored at some point. Why do you not have the Soul Cities? Why? Goodness, you do not even have Kululega. It taught all of us to vote.
If there's a year that we needed Kululega, was this year.
Every election year, you must have a Kululega. Why don't we?
Gosh. Because it makes no sense that an entire generation of the guys after us are busy infecting each other with something as very basic as use a condom. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like,
Because we
who doesn't know
stopped.
that?
No, they don't
They
know.
don't know it.
We stopped the messaging. We stopped. Do you remember the era of the love life billboards? You know?
I remember.
She's sleeping with you, he's sleeping with her, he's sleeping with you.
I must actually get a tape of Intersections and let my son watch it. And
soul buddies. We had young people messaging that was directly for them. And they got it.
And they got
because the need for soul buddies came because we were living through an era where young people who were born with HIV were having to navigate life. I loved being a small part of the teaching that Soul City did. I did 2 big seasons with them. Actually, funny thing is, I was in Soul City, the first Soul City, as a cameo.
Is it? It is so important because the young ones whose mothers accessed ARVs and while they were still pregnant, there's a word for it. It just escapes me right now.
Prevention of mother to child transmission.
Yeah. It's called
PMTC.
PMTC, that's it.
It was part of my lines.
Is it? So here's the thing, and it's very serious. It meant, okay, the ones before, because we did go through an era of denialism and there was no PMTC. Now those children, it meant they became teenagers and adults having lived with HIV their entire lives.
Yes. Some of them not even knowing.
Yes. And then PMTC was introduced and things turned around and ARVs were easily accessible. And you think maybe we kind of like thought, oh, well, I'll just pop my pills and live.
I don't think so. I don't think young people even think of it at that level. We really thought that because the interventions of treatment are there, that we went back to making HIV the problem of people with the virus. And we forgot that we need to keep educating. So now you will get the Department of Health giving you scary stats about infections in young people among each other.
15 to 25. I'm like, do you guys not know about this?
They don't.
They don't. Another one said on X the other day, or Twitter, X, man, I just take PrEP. I'm like, PrEP? What about all the STIs?
Yeah. No. Well, this is my point. And I'm going to go back to the point I made about public broadcasting and its mandate. You grew up knowing when it's National Pregnancy Week. You grew up knowing when it's National whatever week. Because we didn't have a lot of options when it comes to the content we consumed, right? So we were being given such big deal content, radio and television. That made a lot of sense to us. Now, even the dangerous misinformation you find on public radio will have you switch off radios in your household so that your children are not misinformed.
Okay.
Do you want to tell me the gang that's sitting in Auckland Park now on different shows that are just about, that pick their topics of social media? Do you think they are well informed enough to educate at the level that a Soul Buddies or a Soul City, those curated messagings?
I was telling the young ones just now this morning
they're equipped like that?
I don't listen to radio anymore except specific radio stations because, oh my gosh, just please stop talking.
No, they shouldn't stop talking. Somebody take them and give them the proper content.
Okay.
You've put them here and you are paying them what you're paying them for them to do the job. Now, please, equip them with knowledge.
Are they teachable, though?
I think anybody's teachable.
Hey, because there's some of the things you hear.
I think anybody's teachable. I think we just really like assuming that the knowledge exists until stats like what's coming out now are coming out. And by the way, the stats have always been there. It's just that we're hearing of them now because we're going through Sexual Reproductive Health Week.
Oh, is that what? Oh, okay. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And 15 years ago, I would have told you it's Sexual Reproductive Health Week.
Yeah.
It's scary. It is scary. Another area that I want us to talk about is the issue of language. Languages. You say you speak, apparently, what I read when I was researching you speak all of them, even Swahili. How is that possible?
So in 1994, I get called to go and meet a guy called Gary Friedman for a job on a puppet show.
Okay.
I'm going, oh, okay, I can do puppetry. When you're young, you believe in yourself so hard. And I go and meet this man, and he says, okay, this is what we need you to do. This is a script, and I'm happy. I love it. Again, it speaks to the things that made me want to be an actor.
Yeah.
Because he ran a thing called the African Research and Puppetry Program.
Okay.
AREP. Now, AREP was famous for a thing they did called Puppets Against AIDS.
Okay.
They had 2 shows, one for teenagers and another one. Programs like that are still important. So Puppets Against AIDS, you went to schools. This is how Lesego Masebe and I, the late, became best friends. We did puppetry together for Puppets Against AIDS. And then you had the adult version of Puppets Against AIDS that you would do in so many different places. We went to the mines, we went to plantations, teaching ordinary South Africans about AIDS. But as I'm sitting there, he keeps talking about, and you speak a lot of languages. Do you just learn languages with ease? I'm like, well, I don't know. I just acquired them along the way, and here I am. After about 3 months of me having that job, he comes and he says, okay, you have a passport? I said, yes. He says, how long will it take you to learn Swahili?
Okay.
I'm like, why? He says, no, we're sending you to Kenya
to do
to do Puppets Against AIDS in Kenya. And
that's how you picked
And
up
I went to Kenya and I sat for 2 weeks in a place called Limuru with a Swahili teacher called Julius.
Okay.
And Julius and I sat and we did Swahili class every single day for 10 days. And I was like, Julius, the basics are clobbering me. Let's do this. I had a Walkman back in the day when Walkmans were a thing. We recorded Julius reading the entire script and I parroted him. But by the time I finished the show, so when it was time for questions and answers, the teacher would come in and translate for me. But by the time we were finishing, he would still be translating and I would already be answering. And he was like, unaongea Kiswahili? I was like, yeah, no, I'm good now.
Good. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then all the other languages you picked up along the way? Because
all the other languages I just picked up. All the other languages I just always spoke, I think.
No, but you do a switch. You do like the seamless switch. Like if I'm about to switch to isiZulu, it's, and then if I'm about to be nasty, I'm about to be crazy on you, and then if I want to look esteemed, I'll try and speak closer to impress my in-laws. But you just do it seamlessly. Like, how do you just move?
So honestly, I've never thought about it as a thing that.
What are you thinking? What language are you thinking?
Chivenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so I've had to do a lot of translations in my head.
Yes.
To other languages to be able to. So I think in Chivenda, but I do kind of think in Sepedi as well.
Yeah.
I was born in a place where
because I thought Mopedi.
No. Well, my father worked in a place where people spoke Sepedi.
Okay.
So I was born there. But Chivenda being the language that I speak. And so I come from a family where we speak Chivenda, we speak Sepedi because of the area. We speak Xitsonga because of where my grandmother lived. My mother, my dad's mom. So yeah.
Then you
my whole
covered
childhood was always
in between
Xitsonga, Tshivenda, Sepedi. And then I grew up. Hey guys, I grew up watching TV. There used to be a program called Siafunda.
Yes.
So I learned isiZulu a little bit from watching Siafunda.
Okay. Then it's closer when you move.
But of course, then I already spoke Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Because you can't be in Noordelijke Transvaal and je praat nie Afrikaans nie.
Yeah.
So, and then when I went to Cape Town with my little bit of Siafunda Zulu, which was really funny and weak, I became friends with Zulu people.
Okay.
And learned Zulu first. But then, Then at some point at drama school, the Siainyova in me wanted to do work in an African language. And the African language I would then be able to delve into would be what?
Xhosa. Okay.
I was in Lesotho. Like 2-3 years ago, but like for a government thing. And realizing how all the comms exists. It's not far away, it's here. It exists.
I've seen Botswana. I've never been to Lesotho, to my shame.
Botswana, same story.
Botswana, same story.
Eswatini, same story. What's our problem? Until we ourselves take our own languages with a seriousness that we take the twang. I know the media ran with 26 bullets for a long time. It's because they counted the 26 holes on the car, on the metal.
They didn't count the ones that actually penetrated.
What do they think went through the glass?
Okay.
People had a chance to shoot me at close range, literally as close as you and I are.
Hyperflow.
There's a sound that bullets make when they go through your bone.
Is it?
I hate the fact that I know that. You know, I used to compare it to shame. My mom used to go through sessions of wanting to know. And I said to her, I can't help her. So I would find things, you know, it's like wood breaking. Or it's like an arrow going through an apple. I hate the fact that I can have such references.
My personal politics tell me that we are not investing enough of ourselves, enough of our resources in the preservation of our languages as a person. I am inspired by the Afrikaners, for example, how they invest in their cultural centers unapologetically. How they will speak Afrikaans in the Haze and will still do English for business purposes.
Yes.
And how Afrikaans music is booming. Afrikaans theater is booming. Afrikaans cultural events are sold out events. You know, the Gaga and Ga is a sold out event. Skouspel, when we used to have it, would be a sold out event.
I used to go to Atikafia, the Campus Tonil.
You know what I mean? Yep. How they've just been able to put at their center their culture unapologetically. We're stopping ourselves because there's nothing.
Okay. So I was in Lesotho. Like 2-3 years ago, but like for a government thing. And realizing how all the comms exists. It's not far away, it's here. It exists.
I've seen Botswana. I've never been to Lesotho, to my shame.
Botswana, same story.
Botswana, same story.
Eswatini, same story. What's our problem?
Is it not? Because then I'm like, okay, what is my hypothesis? I'm like, is it not that we fancy ourselves as being much more global, much more progressive. This is now me finding an anti.
No.
Okay, so what is the opposite of
It
that?
can't be. We really need to get up and say, our languages matter. But they matter to a point where an organization like a Pensal is not a thing that we need to work hard to make people know of. I struggle with a lot of stuff. I want to see a program called The Language Police on TV so that we can police everybody whenever they kill languages. Whenever you have a Tatama Chance situation happening again instead of Tatama Chance. We need to go through those things. We need to find pride in language being taken care of properly. The late Zulu monarch used to be very strict about it. isiZulu on SABC 1 had to be isiZulu. We've got to go back.
Is it the cost cutting? Because
cost cutting.
It's the cost cutting.
The cost cutting means now when you do a show,
you
do not have people called translators and language advisors. Kosi comes in and we give Kosi a role and then we say, Kana Kosi, what do you speak? Yeah, say those lines in Setswana. But nobody has translated for Kosi.
Because even Kosi haibuwa lenye Setswana.
So Kosi has to figure it out for herself and then ends up speaking some fruit salad.
Is that not also a casting issue whereby
No. It's a resource issue. Let's start there. Imagine running a newsroom without editors.
Okay.
Where everything just goes, that's thrown in. Somebody must guide, right?
And nobody, there's nobody keeping track.
Somebody must guide. We internally must have our own red pen. Where is that pen? My daughter was on Generations. And my daughter was also my client because I needed to coach the acting quite a lot. And I'd be like, okay, so, and what line is that? Yeah, no, this is how it was translated. I'm like, no, but it doesn't make sense. Mwananga, come, this is how you should rather say it. It even helps the delivery of the line.
Sometimes you put the subtitles and you're like, no, that's not what the person said.
Yes.
That's not what the person said.
So it's about resources because budgets get cut. And we're in a world where we're ticking boxes with this language thing because it's just a nuisance.
But where is the money going? Because the SABC, they still...
No, but Akira language is a nuisance. Please, African languages exist so we can punctuate with them. If while I'm talking to you, I keep saying yabo,
then that's enough.
I spoke Zulu.
Oh.
Don't you know that?
It makes perfect sense now. Oh.
So until we ourselves take our own languages with a seriousness that we take the twang.
The appreciation of the twang needs to...
Languages will go far.
Hey, we've got zero appreciation.
Our languages will go far. We've got to do it. And unfortunately, this is seeping into indigenous language radio stations as well, where you hear some going, they allow them to speak like that now on this radio station? Yes, they're not finding.
Is it not in the passing of time that we evolve and then you never really find somebody who's like a Zulu purist who would ever utter a sentence in full isiZulu as a Aiqede?
Cabo, is there a person on the English news at I don't even know what time the English news is now. Is it at 7 o'clock or whatever? Primetime news, who is freestyling a little bit of Setswana into the bulletin?
That is a good point.
Is there?
Or Afrikaans?
No. I want to talk about the black folks.
No, it will be English.
Speak well. When we speak so well, we're good enough for the BBC and CNN. When we are presenting any of our products, do we freestyle a little bit of isiNdebele, a little bit of Seswati, a little bit of Setswana into our work? We don't. gobaneng ga ke tshwantse ke bue Setswana ke tshwantse ke se tlatsa Sekgowa.
I get.
You know, in fact, I'm even forgiving of the people who will then speak. I'm forgiving of people from Mamelodi and Atteridgeville and Soshanguve.
Yeah, because
I can tell her I know Kispitori. They're not killing the language, but we're Spitori so. You know, there was a big thing where people went, what language are people speaking on Gqeberha? It was big discourse.
Is it?
Where they're going, that's not PE.
It's close, actually.
Xhosa.
Yeah.
People from PE don't speak like that. Now, I wouldn't know,
unless
being a Movenda, until people from PE started
out.
saying there is a Xhosa as a PE. I didn't know that. But I understand there should be, because language does that.
Yes.
Okay? So if we can be so proud of speaking of our languages that we then start seeing the color and little nuances where we can tell, oh, yeah, you come from such, you speaking like people from this. I can tell you with Sepedi that a person, no, matala. This one I can tell you that person speaks Sepedi Sahamalepo. I can tell you this person comes from Makurung or Ranchabeleng. I can tell you that in Chivenda as well. No, that one speaks like people from Widafuri, Njerere. You come from. It's good. That is language. That's the richness of language. English itself in England has that.
It has that, yeah.
Let's reach a point where we understand that the more content we create in our languages, the more alive our languages remain. They're not going to die because we realize that there's this danger.
Yeah.
We acknowledge and notice the danger.
Yes.
Young people are coming up with amazing content in indigenous languages. And the more those come to the fore, mainstream media is a thief and a half. They steal what they believe is working.
Yeah.
They're going to start stealing from Mrs. Maria No Choice, which means they will be pouring into the isiXhosa content channel. They will start stealing from people like Bomatalani. The Sepedi thing grows. So it's fine. Let them come.
Great. I want us to go way, way back. Way back. 1999.
Yeah, that's not way back enough, but it's fine.
It's a bit. 1999, it's August, right?
Yeah.
It's the 18th. Do you know what day it was?
It was a Wednesday.
Was it a Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. It's August, and you wake up, and tell me about that day.
I cooked.
Okay.
I probably woke up, carried on with the day. I worked at night. So the call time would be in the afternoon. Maybe you're required at work at 4:00 or something like that for makeup. I do remember cooking.
We're not reading the news.
No, I was doing continuity.
Okay.
We had continuity.
We had continuity. Yes.
I was a continuity presenter on SABC2.
Yes.
So I was on my way to studio, and I cooked before I went.
Yes.
I'm that person. So, the normal day would be me sleeping in most of the morning and then waking up,
and then
cooking dinner, then leaving, going to studio, and working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are, by the way, we are talking about the day that you got shot.
Yeah.
How many times?
We don't know.
We don't know. But what we know are how many.
So, my body took quite a number of
bullets.
The medical team and I always spoke 40 times and more.
Yeah, because it said 40. I was like,
I know the media ran with 26 bullets for a long time. It's because they counted the 26 holes on the car, on the metal.
They didn't count the ones that actually penetrated.
What do they think went through the glass?
Okay.
People had a chance to shoot me at close range literally as close as you and I are.
Hyperflow.
Yes. So I'm here parked. This table is the intercom and the bush separating the two cars.
Okay.
That's how close they were.
That's close range, eh?
That was very, very close range. They were sent to finish a job they didn't. I hope they didn't get paid. They're such bad hitmen.
Wait.
I appreciate being where I can say things like this now.
Hey, like you had one job. You had one job and you fired 40 shots.
Yeah.
And she's here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we duck.
Yeah.
But wait. But when I got could they see? Because I'm thinking, who would want to shoot at you?
I don't know. I mean, look, considering the fact that till today we don't know, I really.
What car did you drive at the time?
A cheap Tez. It was a right car for a young.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'm thinking,
it was a hustler's car.
Yeah.
Do my thing. I had a Tez. I had a plain Tez. Please, I wasn't even driving. My friends had like spotted up ones.
Yeah, I remember those ones.
Dark windows and.
What color was yours? White.
Oh. Mine was white. Well, do you understand?
Classic,
I went for basic bottom off, windy the windows.
And then it is tinted, so they sorry again. I don't understand what goes through.
And we were not far from each other. So no, they were not looking for somebody else.
It was you.
I'll never know why. Too many conspiracy theories flew around. But what was beautiful, and I'm thankful for that thing till today, was that having lived, I became very clear that my focus was going to be on staying alive and not on who could have done this. If I had focused on anything else,
you would have lost your mind.
I would have lost me.
You'd have lost yourself in that question.
I'm a cold case.
Still today?
Yeah. I would have lost me if I had focused on why, who, I'd be finished.
Yeah. So you pull up, where? At the
gate. So I'm staying in a complex at the time.
Okay.
A townhouse complex. And in hindsight, you kind of think there are
signs. Yeah.
There's an unusual amount of traffic for this time of night. I know that time of night. I do the evening shift all the time.
So you know.
I finish. SABC 2 used to have a 10 o'clock movie. You introduce the movie and say goodnight.
Yes.
And that's it. You go straight, take off the borrowed clothes, back into your own things. You are out of there like nothing. It doesn't take long.
So it was at night.
It's at night. Into the car park at the SABC, out I go. I noticed there were more cars than often on the road.
Leading to your home.
I was like, it's a little busy tonight. But I stuck to my thing and I drove and I got, because the important thing is get home. And I realized a car and people who were looking. So I probably turned too quickly earlier on or whatever, so it would have happened a little further from home. Then maybe I really would have died because there would have been nobody to help.
Because that's an important aspect, the help that you got.
So I got home, and as I turned into my own street, it's a little quiet end of the street towards a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
As I got in, there was a car speeding off. No, one drove right past. And then another one looks like they were about to do a U-turn, because I'm going, hey, they must have forgotten something important.
Hey.
It's this car that was, so I've just parked here. And this car that was coming behind me suddenly comes and does a thing into, and now they are quite aligned to where I am.
Yeah.
And as I'm going, whatever they're in a hurry to turn back for,
4. You hear
that was my last thought.
You heard a gunshot.
It wasn't a gunshot. It was a hailstorm
Oh.
because it was more than one person shooting. And it wasn't bum. It was the whole time.
So it was...
You know, it was a pump action handgun.
Could you pump action again?
I don't know. I don't want to know. I just remember details of what sits on records and the things that we would darkly speak about with my doctor later. So I'm hearing the noise and it's just like fireworks. That's all I remember because he was. I have a crazy mind, guys. I'm so sorry. It's what keeps me alive.
Yeah, you gotta...
So I'm literally going, sure. If I survive this, I'm never listening to fireworks again. This is a lot. And while all of that is going on, I'm going, oh, God, help me. Oh, God, help me. I've got my hands above my head.
You are now aware that you're being shot at.
I realize I'm being shot. I have, okay, my scars are faded. The scar
When
here.
I first met you, it was much more... I remember it.
And I have bullets stuck there.
They still haven't removed all of them?
No, I had to stay alive. So they removed some and they left some. But if I was here and you look at that scar,
yeah,
they were on point.
Yes. Yeah, they were aiming for the head.
So I'm always thankful for those ones that sit there.
Yeah, you said
they stayed in the muscles. And yeah, I kind of remember going.
And at this point, I want them to go. Then they leave.
I've got to finish this. I can't. There's a sound that bullets make when they go through your bone.
What's that?
I hate the fact that I know that. You know, I used to compare it to shame. My mom used to go through sessions of wanting to know. And I said to her, I can't help her. So I would find things, you know, it's like wood breaking. Or it's like an arrow going through an apple. I hate the fact that I can have such references.
You shouldn't know that. Nobody should know that.
But I quite love the fact that I'm sitting here with you so many years after that and being able to talk about it without being afraid.
You're not afraid anymore.
You know, because before, my hesitance to talk was partly from fear. Not being afraid of the people who shot me, but being afraid of the story. Being afraid of being swallowed by that identity of the girl who got shot. I was so afraid of being defined by it.
I see.
And I needed to conquer it for myself and go on and achieve and achieve and achieve. So that there's a whole generation of young people who think it's a story.
And I'm sure people who are watching are thinking, what?
What are they on about?
What are they on about? Yeah, like what? No.
So that freedom is a beautiful gift. I'm happy I'm where I am now. I'm happy I'm where I am now. It was a horrific time. I can't think about it and not be in awe of what it meant to survive.
Like, and then you were assisted by the who was first to arrive? Is it we should have security at these companies?
No. There was a young man who worked at the hotel down at the end of the road.
Okay.
Where I stayed. The Senton Park Hotel. Senton Park Hotel Suites.
Yes, I know exactly where we are now. Yeah. And that's a very safe area of.
Quiet, beautiful area.
Was that where it happened?
Yes. So this young man was a student chef. Is making his way home after his shift. He's on his bicycle. And he's the first person
on
the scene. And he is scared, but he can tell there's somebody in there. I had just, so I used to dial home before I leave SABC. This was a thing that I just did, so that the redial is the first thing I have to do.
Yes.
The day I needed to do the redial, I didn't have hands to dial with, so I grabbed the phone with my teeth and redialed and said, "What you just heard outside, that's me." So that young man was on the scene. My late ex-mother-in-law also came rushing. I mean, bless her. Whenever I think about that day, so much depended on how swiftly she decided, we are not waiting.
We're taking it in now.
We're not waiting. She didn't wait for an ambulance. She refused. She was like, we are driving, we are going. And she kept me awake. And every time I said I was going to sleep, she said, "Get clap. Get clap." I wanted to sleep so badly.
Must never sleep.
So badly. I wanted to sleep. Carol had to slap me because she was there at the hospital before surgery. And even then, I just wanted to sleep. It was very clear, if I just close my eyes,
it will just...
There was a beckoning of peace. I was in so much pain.
I can imagine.
No amount of pain meds was going to help me. I was in a lot of pain. And I was getting cold. They had a fire blanket over me. My temperature was dropping so badly, everything. And I just wanted to sleep. I kept saying to everyone, "I'm tired, I just want to sleep.
Loss of blood.
I just want to sleep." And they kept me alive. And then the fact that there was a doctor who was willing to come up and wake up and do the surgery, we take these things for granted.
We do.
Because I remember the conversations of them not finding a team
to deal with this.
And that man, goodness bless him. Because it took the first surgeon saying, "I'm taking the case, I'm coming through." And then hours and hours of surgery. Yeah.
And
days
many
and
more
days
afterwards.
of more. Many more.
And everything works?
Well, look, we work as much as we need to. My left hand got fused, my wrist.
Okay.
So yours can go up and down.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't do that.
I can't do that.
Okay.
So part of saving it, it's also another place where they couldn't remove quite a lot of
part of saving the hand was to put it
to
together.
just let whatever's in there sit with. So that doesn't move a lot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The right, I lost quite a bit. I mean, I had later to do a lot of bone graft surgeries. I think if you remember from that time, I used to have splints around here.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a whole chunk of bone.
Yeah, because you use this hand also.
Yeah, so literally I had like that much missing bone in the arm. So we had to steal bone from the hip.
And then put it in there.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Literally they had to rebuild the fingers, rebuild a lot of stuff. So it took
years.
Quite a lot and years and a lot of therapy. I have so much respect for physiotherapy, hand therapists. My OT was really amazing. You know, she became the one person I saw every day for a very long time. That when I could no longer go, I felt like I chopped off something. So what am I going to do now? I go to hand therapy every day. But it was up for hand therapy. I can now do certain things. I had to
relearn.
I had to learn to hold a spoon.
Yeah.
Had to learn to brush my teeth. Had to learn, and figure things out. And am I sitting here complaining about it?
No.
No.
We're here now.
I am here going, what a gift.
What a story.
What a gift. It's a gift.
It is a gift.
I'm here.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And we thank God for it, eh? God and our ancestors for it.
Absolutely. Every second. Every second. That's really me. It taught me so much about being grateful every second. Being grateful every second. So I thought I'm strong because we lie to ourselves, right? We like this strong thing. It taught me not to go around calling people strong and not to accept people calling me strong or brave. I'm neither. I'm neither. I'm just thankful
to be here.
I have a friend who felt so bad because she thought she did something wrong, and she was one of the first people who came through for me that night. I say it to her over and over. I don't know if she believes it. She sat on my bed, and I sat and I just cried. And she sat, and I loved her so much for it.
Just sitting there and letting you.
Hey man, she did not come there scripturing me. She did not come there yanlaring me. She did not. She had no wisdom, and I needed none.
I want us to delve into another difficult topic, which is the loss of your young son.
Yeah.
In 2015. I don't even know what to.
So I thought I'm strong because we lie to ourselves, right? We like this strong thing. It taught me not to go around calling people strong and not to accept people calling me strong or brave. I'm neither. I'm neither. I'm just thankful
to be here
and not be in pain. I'm very basic. When you've been, so I thought being shot and having to learn all the things I've just spoken about now, having to learn how to scratch your head
was tough.
I thought I had felt it all
until
because I knew physical pain. And universe comes and says, oh, you want to learn about pain again? Let me teach you about pain. And I don't have the why me thing in my makeup. I really don't.
Okay.
And I'm thankful for that. And I don't go, if not me, then who? No. I just don't speak in that line at all. I go, we are here now. Where we are is a painful place where we've lost a really precious thing. Where the center has fallen apart, but it's where we are.
We're here now.
What do we do? And sometimes when we are there, what we do is just sit
in it.
Yeah.
And feel the pain.
We live in a world where we want to be heroes of everything. Hey, I'm an actor. I do some beautiful roles written by some amazing writers.
Like you're supposed to survive. At the end, we told that you're supposed to, it's temporary. You must overcome it. I think we're so focused on...
Only way to live through things, not to overcome. Not everything comes so you can overcome it.
You can overcome it. Sometimes you don't.
What do you overcome? I told you I live with my bullets. Can't wish them away. The scars are faded, but I know them. I get shocked they're faded now because I'm used to seeing them all the time. We shouldn't be rushing people to overcome things we do not understand. You know, I have a friend who felt so bad because she thought she did something wrong, and she was one of the first people who came through for me that night. I say it to her over and over. I don't know if she believes it. She sat on my bed, and I sat and I just cried. And she sat, and I loved her so much for it.
Just sitting there and letting you.
Hey man, she did not come there scripturing me. She did not come there yanlaring me. She did not. She had no wisdom, and I needed none. All I could tell was that she was in pain to see me in pain. And she wasn't trying to make me get over the pain because she didn't know what the pain was. And she just sat there. And I appreciated her being lost but being there. And that was it. That was all.
There's this human compulsion or impulse to, I need to say something to you now.
Yes, because you think you're the hero that must come and make it go away.
Okay.
Because you're going to feel like you were not helpful if you didn't come with great things. And you know, you could be saying the loveliest thing and it just doesn't land.
It's just something you must go and then you must have scripture and you must find a quote and then you must say something deep.
And then people will pray for you until you think you're the devil himself.
Then there's the...
Then I asked them one day, why are you all praying for me so hard? Am I the demon?
To overcome.
No,
once again.
Stop. Walk in. Ask me what I think I need right now. Because even I don't know.
What you need.
Maybe all I need right now is a bowl of ice cream.
Yeah, we do tend to use scripture to shield.
So we want to come with instant things. There is no morphine for this one that you can give me. But I told you I was in a hospital with all the pain meds and I was still feeling pain physically.
This is nice.
So with this kind of pain again, there's no instant balm that you can put over because you can't tell where it hurts. You can't point at it. But you feel like your soul, if a soul is an organ, is on fire and it's going to burst, but it won't burst just now. So it's going to stay on fire for a very long time. You feel like your entire soul is swollen. It's tender. Doesn't want anything to touch it. It's important to stew in that and name it for yourself. For me, I named it.
You know, do you go to therapy?
I go to therapy a lot.
Okay.
Go to therapy for different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't go to therapy for that.
You didn't?
By the way. No. It felt... And it's funny. I mean, I did the immediate bereavement counseling. And I was sketching. And my sketches were scary.
Is it?
Scary. And I didn't want to sketch, so I started just literally waking up and writing a line of how I felt so that I could send to my therapist and say, let's not waste the session. This is how I feel today. Thank you. Goodbye. And that's how I realized I was speaking more to a notebook than I was willing to speak.
To another person?
To another person. And I spoke to a notebook. I was losing the concept of days. I didn't know where I was. I was afraid. I was really scared I was losing my mind. So everything I wrote to stay sane.
And it's all in the book?
I was looking for order. I was looking for order. I was numbering things. I was literally going, and it's now day 47. I was afraid of losing my sense of order.
Sure. No. Do you think about him?
All the time.
Do you think about how old he would have been now?
Oh yeah. I have children who were born around the same time with him. I see. I used to be afraid of their milestones.
Yes.
Very afraid. But I look at them now and I bless their existence because they've given me something to look at, to imagine what he would have looked like. So the one thing I used to fear, I now appreciate. I do have little boys that I see that are his age.
Personally, that was a time I couldn't even walk. I couldn't see babies.
Yeah. I couldn't hear babies cry.
You go through that.
You see. And there are things that are still there. You get awkward when other people are either having little babies or are pregnant or having their own beautiful moments. You do get awkward.
And that's normal.
It's normal. And you must acknowledge it for yourself. It's part of your healing. Because if you are not sitting with these feelings and calling them what they are, how are you going to heal from them? You're never going to get over the pain.
No, and I think that's an important lesson.
The pain, if this one person came and they cried so hard, and I thank her for it. At the time, I didn't hear her. And I'm glad she said it in the heat of the moment because she lost her son years ago. And she cried so hard, holding me, saying, I'm so scared for you because it doesn't go away. I'm so scared for you. It doesn't go away. And I was like, yo, girl, tell me I'm going to be okay.
She knew what she was talking about.
She knew what she was talking about. And she didn't mean it. She's the one honest line I needed. Because she assured me it didn't mean I'm not fine. So I learned from that, okay, we learn to strap it up. We remove the bandaging and check it out every now and again and go, oh, today nyana. And when you have the days when you feel that, retreat. The world won't understand. Find yourself snapping at everybody that you love because in the bath, the bandage came loose and you remembered that there's a wound in here. And instead of acknowledging it, you got out to be tough.
And it's the little things, like sometimes the smell, the scent.
Yes. Yes. It's
completely.
It's like things that don't matter. It's a picture of a sonogram.
Or you told Angie on Instagram and
somebody's good news.
There goes the day.
Yes.
There goes the day.
Yes. In my case, what makes it worse is, it's my birthday.
It's your birthday. It's actually your birthday. Jeez, Flo.
In my case, it's my birthday. It's the one irrational gift I've given myself is to write off the birthday.
You don't do it?
No, my birthday is on the 18th of August.
Okay. Which is the day...
The day I lived.
The day you lived.
Yeah. My birthday is... Anybody wants to wish me happy birthday? The people that insist on the happy birthday thing?
It's that.
My birthday.
That's a clever hack.
My birthday is on the 18th of August. It's the day I lived.
Okay. I'm going to read your book.
We're going to get out of this part.
So you did what I think we should be doing.
Right.
Stopping to complain and getting in there and serving the public. you know. I think the idealist in me thinks, instead of complaining, why don't you just fill in that Z83? Is it Z83? What form is it?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, why don't you just fill in that form and get in there and then stop complaining? You actually did that. You actually went and worked for the Department of Higher Education.
Actually, I started elsewhere.
What? Okay.
So the Department of Higher Education I inherited with the reshuffling
Yeah. You
and my principal moving.
Okay.
So I was approached for an advisory role in the presidency.
Okay.
To be the advisor, special advisor on a presidential task team on the creative arts.
Okay.
And that task team was chaired by the deputy minister in the presidency at the time, Buti Manamela.
Okay.
And I was approached
advice, insights,
be the special advisor for that particular thing. We did a lot of work.
A lot of work it is done, but we don't see it.
It's slow. I mean, the processes are. But when I see some of it, I go, oh yeah, the task team fought for that. The task team. So we did do some amazing things. The bills that are still battling in Parliament now. That was part of the work.
Okay.
And then on a time when my principal then got reshuffled.
Yeah.
They moved to higher education and said, we're still going to need you here.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. And how is that? What was your role there?
Pretty much the same, because even at presidency, I had then been asked to take on special projects as well.
Okay.
It then became, there's the work.
What shape does it take once it's
the work we focused on a lot would have been on student wellness. So I did a lot of work with the health agency of the Department of Higher Education, Higher Health.
Yeah.
Because then they look at issues of wellness as a whole, from first things first is what they call it, basic health issues. So the stuff we were speaking about earlier, that's their job. They do a really beautiful...
Do they have a mental health aspect to it?
Absolutely. So all of that was the work we were doing. So making sure by the time I left... They now have a mental health helpline for students, an important part, but the bigger part of what they do there also is advocacy around gender-based violence, because it's quite a tricky one for institutions of higher learning.
Yeah. And there's quite a lot of it on campus, eh?
Absolutely. So that became part of the big things that absorbed me at all times, beyond the regular government-y things.
Because you can imagine, you bring children from all walks of life, and they must all live together and coexist in this space. And some of them bring a lot of baggage.
They bring wounds.
And
so you need a higher health to step in and assist. And I hope the lived experience of the student on campus would be that that is what happens. And then you've got the other part of the work that was skills and career information services. My goodness, we take it for granted.
So
take it for granted.
There's a big gap between
that the teacher in the classroom knows how to answer a child that walks in and says, I want to be an astrophysicist. And then the other one says, I want to be a choreographer. And the other one says, I want to be a vision mixer at a broadcast station.
There isn't enough.
Who's training the one that must give the information, and there's all of that. So we did a lot of career expos, a lot of them.
I read somewhere that there's quite a financial burden carried by some of the NSFA students who sometimes have to forfeit their NES funds stipends and help out Gomahai. Is that a prevalent thing, or was just like an anecdotal experience that somebody had?
I don't think that's anecdotal. I think
Is it prevalent, or is it
poor students carry a lot. I say this not speaking from a political perspective of any sort.
Yeah, it's just
that if you were in a place where you left home when and you knew there's no food.
Yeah, that's what the
and
person
you
said.
came over here and I gave you 100 rand. And I said, do with it what you like. Buy yourself food. I won't check. It's yours.
Yeah. We'll
And
probably
you
send 50
know
rands at
what you
home.
left your mom with or what you left Nkono with. Will you not send some of it home?
I will.
Yeah. So I've found on so many occasions comfortable people who sit on their privilege purchase wanting to understand how poor people use the kind of funds they receive for whatever grant, be it the student with their NSFAS, be it what Gogo does with her SASA pension. Many Gogos are using that pension to take care of everybody but Gogo herself.
Stretches, eh?
Yeah.
And very little of it goes to
It
her.
is so sad that children have to learn to stretch their little rent that's there to take care of other things. And they feel the need. But the ones that have done it, you won't find them complaining about it. They are thankful they were able to do something.
There's others as well who were saying, I remember even during COVID, they said they don't want to go home. I remember the reses it closed and so.
Yeah.
I remember reading someone said, I don't want to go home because if I get home, there's going to be nothing for me to eat. At least when I'm at res, there's the dining hall is open. There's Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi. If I get there, I won't have Wi-Fi.
What will I do now?
What will I do now? Because I must go back into that very toxic space with the uncle and everything
There's
else.
that also, and oh man. So I used to work very closely. Like I said, I worked closely with Higher Health, with Professor Ramnika Lualia, who's the CEO. And we used to sit and talk about when you approach student wellness, how far do you take it? Are you thinking of the student here?
On campus.
Yeah, courses are in room 234. Or do you look beyond everything that Kosi came with when they came onto campus, so that when you come up with a bouquet of services for them, you know you are meeting them at their place of need and not where you imagine the need to be.
Yeah, because it's tough, eh?
Yeah.
It's tough. It was tough being a girl from Vanderbilt Park and go to UCT.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how tough it is from and my parents could provide, there was school.
So
but it was still tough.
But think about the child who came from absolutely nothing, who thankfully, because the systems exist
now
to level things for them to still go to a UCT. That when they arrive there, their needs will not be the same as your child and my child, who comes out of suburbia, having been granted so many privileges. And that child has to go and watch your child and my child throwing away food. Doing as they please because they can.
They can.
And they must think they can't share 20 rand with the little brother they left at home.
I saw just this year recently when I had to take mine to also start his first year, there was a A lot of them. They now have got this parent
It's
orientation.
crazy that, right? That we now have parent orientation. I'm sitting going, maybe it existed when I went to school. I just didn't know.
It was not there. I checked.
Okay.
It was
Oh,
already.
it wasn't there. Okay.
It
I'm
was
like,
not there.
was there such a thing when I went to school? Hey, guys, when I went to school, it was very dramatic. But
It wasn't there. So I was thinking, oh my gosh. So it will be flights. Ne? It's flights, accommodation, and a couple of days in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And then you must come back.
Yeah.
That's a clean 25K.
Yeah.
For 3 days.
It's a lovely service for rich parents.
Yeah.
And that is where the kind of mothering that Professor Pakeng approached her position with
because
became beneficial for children. You know, because if you're the one who's not arriving with your parents,
who's gonna be there for you? Because getting there, because I saw them as we were going in, and as we were coming out, we all came back together. I had to be there for work, as you know. So it's easy for me. I put everything together and then you go. But I was thinking, oh my gosh, flights were shooting through the roof. It was like 3,500 rands a flight.
Because remember, it's around the time when everybody's going to Cape Town. Parliament is opening, the mining Indaba. There's like, it was a busy time.
They were crazy. You must still find accommodation.
Not cheap.
You must still set up this. It is not a cheap thing. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder, when they said parents must come, do they accommodate?
No, but they know they're a rich institutions, and rich people talk rich language all the time and don't remember that not everybody comes from the purse thought that they are operating on. They are vibrating differently.
Yeah, it's a different
from the real student that's arriving. Hey, Bonya Mukamadi, who's out in Chitimbini, whose child passed and got full scholarship from a good mining company, will still not be able to stop her job as a laborer where they work.
And go there.
And go. So nice that you're able to offer this to the select few. The socialist-leaning thinker in me would say, create processes of orientation that are as warm and welcoming of every child so that they step onto any campus feeling, I'm not lost here.
Remember how Prof. Pakeng would wait for them at the airport?
Yes.
And she would know.
That's what I'm talking about.
She knew it.
That's what I'm talking about, because she understood that.
She understood that.
I was on a flight with a little boy who was obviously flying for the first time, who was lost, who didn't even read his boarding pass right, so got moved from a few seats while I was watching, and then sat next to a passenger who's up here and doesn't want to be bothered by this little boy.
Oh, how scared he must have been.
He was so scared. And as we were getting our cabin baggage, he said, so is my bag still? I said, yes and no.
Okay.
And then I don't know where I'm going. I sat there and I said, what's the plan? Let's go. You are my child until
I hand you over.
The person who said they're fetching you, they must know that if they are not here, I am taking you to where you must go. Because I just saw the most lost little boy.
I know what you mean.
So absolutely, we need to be encouraging for more of the seniors to take those roles. And I think students are doing it. And for those people then who are able to be there, hey man, go and also be deputy mothers and receive children. Don't just do it because at the fancy institutions.
Do it at the others.
Do it at every other locality. If you can help these young people at the beginning of the year, they do need the help.
Great. What's next for you?
So, I left the state. Yeah. Because I quite missed being completely immersed as well in my art. I felt I'm cheating myself quite a lot. And I did. I wasn't forced. I still could get out and do this, get out and do that. That's how I got out. And I did, I think I did Ikani while, I did Ikani.
Ikani you would have done.
I did Ring of Lies while I was in the State.
Okay.
I did both seasons of The Republic.
That must have been interesting.
But yeah, it was beautiful. I would be on set today and in Parliament tomorrow, but it was all just...
Yeah.
There was Florence over here, and then there was Rufuno Muraudzi over there.
Madam President.
And I would get into the lift, and the minister would go, "Oh, Madam President, Mongameli Minister."
Shame, man.
It was quite an interesting time. But no, so I'm acting.
Are you acting again?
Can you see the joy?
There's a vibe about you. You're acting again.
I'm acting. I'm also back coaching. I love coaching actors, and I haven't been able to quite
immerse yourself.
Be present. I didn't have the time. Yeah. I would get people and then not be able to be there for them. So I'm coaching again, which is fun, but I'm acting. I'm acting. It's lovely.
How do I get the Florence Masebe to come act in my production? Do I send you an email or I don't imagine you auditioning. Roles are written for you. Do you still have to audition? It's just something that
I didn't have to audition to play Ererwani.
Yeah.
I have
Ererwani
and Africa what
award?
Yeah, an AMA award.
Yeah.
I didn't have to audition. So I think the trick is when we don't audition, we get the awards. I didn't get to audition to be the president.
Because that looks like it was written for you.
I got a call and I was asked, "Will you take it?" Because, and Pato insisted and said, "No, I'm coming to sit down with you and talk about this character so that you understand what I'm asking you to be."
Very few people can deliver that, though, eh?
But I'm so honored that I was granted that kind of thing. The industry does still ask for tapes. The industry does still ask that we cue. I am fortunate to not be asked a number of times by people who will say, "Are you available? Are you keen?" I'm thankful that does exist for me, but it doesn't exist as often as the ones that say, "Come audition."
Okay.
Yeah. So there are still...
Because it would be interesting to...
Many places where people aren't sure that...
I'd walk away from the queue. If I was to go into an audition, you were number...
But you see, that's
number 4.
But that's part of what makes the auditioning process uncomfortable and unfair, not just to me when I walk into the audition space, to you, who stands a chance at the role, but you are shaken by the fact that I'm there and you heard I'm auditioning for the same role.
Angsai.
So it isn't fair.
It isn't.
To you either. But the industry has its feelings about these things.
Do they feel it makes the process more transparent?
No, the industry thinks, "Who do you think you are?"
Oh, yeah. Do you know who said that recently?
Yeah.
Monique said that. Monique, the comedian.
The industry says, "Who do you think you are?" Of course you're going to audition. Look, please explain to me what it is that you are trying to figure out.
About my range.
Yes.
That you...
We can sit down, I don't mind being called. Let's talk. We have something that we believe. Let's see if we can find each other on it.
Yeah.
We might sit down and not find each other, and I'll still appreciate that. I do appreciate the ones that says, "We do need something on tape. Please give us a tape." Now, I'll give you the tape.
It would be very uncomfortable, I would imagine, if...
And it has happened a few times before I reached a point where I said, "Actually, no, guys."
And I'm sure you yourself, you walk there and you're like, "Ish."
And
now these young ones are looking at you.
No, because you've also gone and made arrangements to say, "If you're insisting on me being there, I'm not queuing. So when I arrive, I'm going to go straight to the front."
Yes.
And that is
creates
unfair
an impression,
on the person sitting and waiting with their form.
So
there's a lot that works in the industry. There's a lot that doesn't work. A lot.
I hear you.
That
Look,
still needs fixing.
I think that you and who am I to
So,
really input?
yeah.
But I'm sure if you're going to see a Flo Masebe, deal with it at 9 o'clock and then start your audition at 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
To
Flo
save
to
the
do Flo at
integrity
8
of the rest of the
do
process.
Flo at
Yes.
8. Do somebody else your second option.
Yeah.
At 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
You must not even meet each other with the other
No,
person.
but they start by saying, "Oh, no. We're seeing everybody at the same time. We're not taking appointments."
Okay.
So
we're gonna leave it there.
because
it's lovely as usual. I'm hoping one day I will get to taste your cooking. There's this spinach dish that you did, and I was like, I don't know what this thing is, but I want it in my life.
It's pumpkin leaves.
Is that what it is?
With some flowers.
And
some baby pumpkins.
It looks so delicious.
And some peanut sauce.
Is it like a Chivenda traditional dish? Because we don't make it quite like that.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's my life.
I'm gonna come with a dish.
And if you can make that with ting or anything in the sorghum family,
it works.
Yay, man.
It looks like something I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my season for it because the pumpkins are
blooming,
going mad all around. I have pumpkins growing around the roses, the hydrangeas, the lilies, whatever. I throw pumpkins everywhere when it's time to throw a pumpkin seed.
Oh yeah, because you use the leaves as well.
Yes, it's the leaves.
My grandma used to use the leaves, but I don't know how to use the leaves.
No. The leaves are the.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so
much. I absolutely adore you as a person and your art. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Great.
I had to do this.
You had to.
I had to do this.
Thank you. And that's that. See you next time on Let's Talk with Kosi. Thank you very much for listening to us and understanding us. Thank you.